Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another edition of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out, a pro wrestling podcast about pro wrestling. I'm Blade Daly, and I'm joined by my returning guest co-host, Books and Bodyslams. Books, hello.
Hello. You forgot our third co-host.
Oh, God.
What up, Blade?
Oh, my God. It's like a different voice than it was the last time, and it's just as bad, though. So, hello, stuffed Kenny. Wow. Books, how have you been?
I'm good. You know, no complaints. I'm drinking iced coffee at 6 p.m. my time, so that should.
And did you not tape a podcast last night as well?
Oh, I did. I was drinking coffee at 11 p.m. last night to stay awake.
Wow. Great choices. Great choices. Before we get too deep into this, I just want to remind the audience, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with your homies, okay? Tell the people, Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out is the place where you go to conglomerate after the actual wrestling is over, all right? And please subscribe to this channel if you can. That's the most, it's the biggest way you can help what we're doing here, okay? The more subscribers we have, the sooner we can start monetizing this channel, all right? And then doing super chats and making you guys pay to talk to.
That seems like fun.
Disregard what I just said. No, we will always have an open forum here, okay? We will always have an open forum.
I don't know. I've been thinking about starting a paid text service like Mercedes.
Ooh, what you could probably attract the Vincels, and they just have you degrade them, I'm
not joking. I low key joked about becoming a humiliation.
Yeah,
dominatrix because I enjoy humiliating Vincels so much.
Yeah, well, and they clearly enjoy being humiliated. Bro, I mean, they keep coming back for more. They keep coming back for more. Also, last thing before we get started here, I just want to say that next week I will be taking the week off from Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out because I am preparing to launch Pro Wrestling Forever, my new show with that I'm the co-host of with the host, Professor Degree, the toast of the third coast, as he would annoyingly say. And we are just in the final stages of getting everything put together, but I want to put all my focus there so that when we do our first episode, which is going to happen a week from this Monday at the same time that we do it here. So on Mondays, you'll have Pro Wrestling Forever, which is a complete exploration of wrestling fandom by two middle-aged white guys. Very unique, I know. And we are going to launch that a week from this Monday. Like I said, that would be Monday, April 27th. So if you could, in addition to subscribing to us here, please go to our the Pro Wrestling Forever YouTube. It's Pro Wrestling Forever Pod is the handle. And then follow us on socials wherever you can find us. Also Pro Wrestling Pod, Pro Wrestling Forever Pod. So that is what's up, my people. But yeah, so I went to Dynasty on Sunday. A couple days went by. Then I went to, there you go. Doing some Vanna shit right now. That's right. Yeah, Blurry Line very correctly points out, and I agree. Middle-aged white men are such an underserved demographic. It's about time someone catered to that niche.
It's such an underserved.
Yeah, and sometimes I wonder myself, what would a middle-aged white guy think about this? And then I just ask myself, because that's what I am. So yes. So I am old and go into these AEW shows, two huge shows, a pay-per-view. And then I went to a combined Dynamite and Collision taping that was probably only an hour shorter than the pay-per-view. Okay. And it kicked my ass, but what a wonderful ass kicking it was. Books.
How are you awake? My question, because I'm younger than you, and that I would be sleeping.
I was a zombie yesterday.
Okay.
And I was a zombie on Monday when I did tape that review of Dynasty with Degree, which you can listen to on our channel anywhere you want.
I'm going to listen to it next.
Oh, thank you, Books. Thank you.
Instead of
Books.
watching the Hornets play.
Nice. How are the Hornets doing this year?
We're in the next round of the pre-playoffs or something. I don't know. All I know is my favorite player from UNC is now on the Hornets.
Okay.
So I'm very happy.
Okay. All right. It's just like keeping it in the family kind of thing, huh?
Yeah.
Well, for Dynasty, I went with my best friend, Matt. We went and we had a great time together in Vancouver. For Dynamite, I went alone, solo, mono, but not facing anybody. Anyway, so I went, and when you do this kind of stuff, you don't know what it's going to be like. Like, am I going to be sitting in front or behind a gigantic person? What I did this time that was different was I forgot where my seats were, and I forgot how much I paid for them. Okay. So, I got to the place. I went to my seat. I'm in the front row of the elevated section. Okay. And sitting right next to me is this guy. Shout out to BJ. This guy ended up becoming a good buddy of mine just over the course of the evening because we were just geeking the fuck out over AEW together the entire night.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's one of those just great wrestling moments where it's just, you run into somebody who's as big of a dork as you. And so shout out to BJ. You're a rad dude. And what I would do is I would go buy merch, bring it back, show him what I got, and then he'd get jealous and go buy the same thing. So it was pretty fun.
So you gave him merch FOMO.
I did. So he had shit that I wish I had. Like he had the Bryan Danielson jacket that I never got. But I went
jacket that I will be paying overpriced for secondhand.
Probably. Yeah. I went and bought a Bandito mask.
Oh,
and I bought the Most Wanted poster of Bandito signed.
Do you have it up yet?
I haven't put it up, but I did put it in a frame already.
Look at you.
Yeah, so I'll be putting that up later today. And then after Dynamite was over, I got I need to buy more. So I got up and I went and bought a Darby shirt because duh. And I bought it's for the Sickos shirt, the barbed wire one. I mean, that's a great shirt.
Yeah, it is. I have the one from Blood and Guts that says Sickos, and probably one of my favorite shirts ever.
Yeah. No, it's really good. There was that first one that they put out when they were in Philly. That's a direct copy of an ECW shirt. And then they put out an updated one that said it's for the Sickos on the back. And
what's funny? I think on Whatnot, Mr. Books just got me the Philly one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Skewered Universe podcast in the house. What up, buddy? Good to have you with us. We were just talking about the underserved demographic of middle-aged white men and, how we should really consider them more in our programming.
We should.
So, yeah, I ended up sitting next to this cool dude. I got a bunch of cool merch. AEW kind of took a piece of my ass financially, but damn it, AEW can have my ass whenever you want.
Well, again, it's time for AEW to have an affiliate program and start paying us for all the money, time, and effort we put into this company. But I digress.
Yes, and eventually I'm going to take y'all on a little tour of my wrestling room. Okay, I have a room dedicated solely to pro wrestling in my home. Okay, because I'm determined to be single for the rest of my life. And Books, you're raising yes, Books, you have quite a variety of merch. I have those Young Bucks figures that you have back there.
I only have Nick because that's the I found them at a secondhand shop and they only had Nick.
Oh, okay.
But
well, I'm talking about the
my
big rubber ones.
Oh yeah, I have those too.
I have those. Yeah, I have those.
Isn't that so cool?
I have that Nick as well.
Yeah, I also got a cool Mick Foley book over the weekend, and oh my god, people are gonna make fun of me. I got a Dave Meltzer book.
A Dave Meltzer book.
Yeah.
What is it about?
It's like a history of like deceased wrestlers. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll take a picture and I'll post it because it was kind of cool.
Some people have
history for me.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. But Dave Meltzer's a great resource for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
Dave, not like his modern day opinions, but
he's very weird about women's wrestling, and he's very not in the breaking news business anymore, and he should stay away from it because he's been wrong a lot. Like let Sean Ross Sapp deal with that shit, and then you be the historical perspective. You know, much in the same way people would say like Jim Cornette's a great historian. It sucks that he's such an asshole. Dave isn't an asshole like that, and he's a great historian. So he's very much worth it for that. I subscribed to The Observer for a very long time, and Brian Alvarez drove me away. Sorry. I know some people who are friends with him, but Brian, you're a miserable fuck. Okay. So having been fresh off Dynasty, you know, you go to a pay-per-view, you see big things happen. You're like, well, let's see if big things happen at this Dynamite Collision, right? Mm-hmm. I got to say, it was just as much fun and maybe even a little more fun than Dynasty. So let's get to that, shall we?
Yeah.
Books last year in the run-up to All In, a ton of people thought Darby was going to disappear to train to climb Mount Everest and then climb it and then come back and then win the AEW Men's World Title from Jon Moxley.
Not me.
I always thought that sounded insane. Like, you don't just come back from Mount Everest and just like go have a wrestling match the next.
Not after
you can't.
The work Hangman was doing.
Right. And so I think that they made the correct call to have Darby factor into the match, but not, you know, be in the match, you know? So, you know, he came back to make his presence known, but that was it. And then after Moxley dropped the belt, him and this is where I first thought the Death Riders were going to break up. I'm like, ooh, this is genius. So they're going to have Hangman take the belt off Moxley, but Darby's the one who's going to take out the Death Riders, right? Insane. And so that seemed like a really sensible plan. No. Darby did beat Mox a couple times. I think a couple times. Maybe at least once. They had some really gross matches against each other. Okay. Claudio press slammed him from the ring onto a table at one point. And Mox and Darby, you know, he was drowning Darby in a fish tank at one point. I was like, if that fish tank breaks, you're both going to get cut so bad. These two are psychos, and they should be kept away from each other, is what I've realized, because they will kill each other and then themselves. Then Darb's, after the Mox thing, Darb's got a bit sidelined with like Gabe Kidd. Then it kind of felt like he was doing side quests for a while with the other Death Riders, and then he just kind of seemed like he was on ice, maybe. You know, just not, you know, not on. My cousin Tony's in the chat. Blade, did you see that match? It was good. Oh, Tony. Okay. Anyway. All right. So then it seemed like he was kind of on ice. And then a few weeks before Dynasty, just kind of randomly, Darby starts calling out MJF and saying he's coming for the belt. Well, this is while Kenny is also coming for the belt. This is while Swerve was in the running, at least, to be considered for the belt. This is when they're talking about Andrade being in the running for the belt. And MJF makes this deal with Darby that essentially if he can beat his chosen member of the Don Callis family, that Darby will get a world title shot. Now, that was my one complaint about this whole thing. Is MJF made the stipulation that's already a post-Kenny stipulation. And even though Kenny said he would honor the stipulation, I'm like, yeah, but still like MJF making the deal kind of, you usually have the guy who makes the deal finish the deal. You know what I mean? That's just wrestling 101 shit. So I felt like that was a bit of a spoiler, but they still ended up making me feel like Kenny was going to win, and then he didn't, and then my hopes were crushed, and I was deflated and ruined as a human being for several days after that. Books?
Were you though, Mr. I Love Dawn 67?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I love Dawn, but I mean, that doesn't mean I don't love Kenny. Dawn didn't even have anything to do with that match, okay? I was rooting for Kenny against MJF. Just hoping he wouldn't be disrespectful to Don afterwards, so I didn't have to root against him, Whew. Slim Pickens in the chat. What's up, buddy? It's been a minute. Glad to see you. Glad to see your name in the chat. Bleary Light says, didn't mind it too much because in the mentality of MJF, he already thinks he's won the match. So wouldn't mind making deals that assume he won. Good point. Fair play. It wasn't it wasn't like a huge deal to me either, but I felt like it served as a bit of a spoiler. And so then it was determined that he would face Andrade, who clearly didn't want to face Darby because he wants to challenge MJF too. Then they had a match and Darby beat Andrade. And then Andrade is already turning babyface kind of because he shook Darby's hand, did the, hey, this guy, did the point, the Triple H point at him. And and then he walked away.
To myself, I was like, oh, he Triple H'd him.
He Triple H'd him. Yeah. And then, so what I didn't hear when I was at Dynasty, they didn't show, was that Renee interviewed Darby during the pay-per-view. And he said, I want whoever wins this match, I want you at Dynamite.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that they had made that match. And then after I got home hella late, like 2 a.m, what do? Well, I had missed one match, so I made sure to go watch it like a dutiful podcaster, right? Because I don't want to review a show where I didn't see every goddamn minute of that show, which was the Jericho match, which I did go get merch during. But it was a surprisingly solid match. And I see that this Darby thing is happening Wednesday. And the MJF's like, I'm going to turn off all my devices and all that stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. They're doing Darby versus MJF in Everett, which I'm a Washingtonian. I know the difference between Everett and Seattle, okay? Like, Everett is where Darby trained, okay? That is like his actual home base.
Yeah.
The Buddy Wayne Academy was based in Everett, right? So that was wild. Okay. I'm like, that is interesting. That is very interesting. Also, it's WrestleMania week. Even more interesting. If they were going to do something crazy, this
it
is
would
the week
be a Wednesday before WrestleMania.
Yeah. So that got me humming. I was like, I think there's a pretty decent chance that Darby could win this.
Yeah.
Saw a whole bunch of experts saying, don't worry, guys, he's not going to win it. Saw a whole bunch of people saying Darby shouldn't win it. I didn't feel that Darby shouldn't win it, but I definitely felt like they had not explained Darby well enough if he was going to win it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know Darby well enough. What I do know is that he's crazy, that he will die for AEW, that he put a flag on Mount Everest, that he climbed Mount Everest. I know that he climbed Mount Everest. I know that he climbed Mount Everest as well. And then I've watched him just do a ton of crazy shit over the years, right?
You also know he's Gumby.
Also, he climbed Mount Everest. Did you hear that?
I said he's Gumby.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
You know the green little guy that's like made of rubber?
I know who Gumby is.
Okay.
I'm older.
You worried me there for a second.
I definitely know who Gumby is. And then his horse Pokey.
Did I age myself out?
No, I don't really think so. I mean, you're younger than me, so I consider you young.
I was worried there for a second.
And really, when I look at the analytics of our listenership, they're a little younger than me, but they're around my age ish. Before we get too deep, let's just see what the people are saying. Slim Pickens says, good to see y'all. Hope the week has treated you guys well. And may I just say congrats to our new champ. Skewered Universe. I think even if Andrade stays a heel, nobody's going to boo him. Nobody's going to boo Andrade.
No.
That gimmick is just a babyface gimmick.
Love it.
The ladies love Andrade. Blurry Line. TK needs to license Smooth by Santana and Rob Thomas for Andrade's baby. Okay. All right. Get out. Leave. Like, I have that song in my head now, Blurry Line. And that's not fair. That's not fair. Scare Glow, Darby squashing MJF totally makes sense. MJF can't handle a match that he doesn't have time to prepare for. And he can't handle being treated the way he treats others like they treat you. Great point. I wish I had read that later, but we're getting there. And you're talking about a lot of things that I want to talk about. Okay. This is the main topic of today's show. Yeah. Devil Dinosaur says, I did not catch MJF saying he was going dark. That was on social media after the pay-per-view. So that was like on Instagram. I saw that. Final Destination says, still don't know how I feel about Darby winning. Fair. Tony, my cousin again, in what part of Seattle is Everett in Blades? Is it next to, okay. All right. Tony Montoya, the Roman Coliseum is younger than you. All right.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you were that old.
Wow. Slim Pickens Sting was such a great ward for him, though. Very true. Very true. Great mentor. And Final Destination. How do we get to MJF versus Ospreay, though, for the title? They have already fought over titles, I would say, and they have already fought at All In over titles.
And I don't think it's going to be Ospreay versus MJF.
I don't think it is.
Definitely after what happened this week, that's not where this is going.
No. And we'll get way deeper into this, but MJF had a great title reign. He had a great title reign, and he did a much better job, honestly, in this one than he did in the last one.
Yeah, I will say I really love the shorter reigns. Like, maybe not as quick as the Trios is going, but I love the shorter reigns.
The Trios changing hands every time they're defended.
I mean, it's also just kind of funny, and I kind of wish they'd keep doing it at this point.
New Japan does shit like that sometimes, where they have the never open weight title. I remember at one point had never been defended more than like 3 times successfully. But yeah, no, I think the Trios titles are great for shit like that. You know, I love having them bounce around. Anyway, so I saw people saying there's no way Darby's going to win on TV when MJF had just beaten Kenny. That was another thing I heard people saying. But while I'm sitting here talking to my new friend BJ, right, while we're waiting for this show to start, they showed that really intense interview Renee did with Darby on YouTube. And she did it the day before we were there. And this was a long interview. And Darby basically said all the stuff he said to Max, he said it to Renee as well, but in a much more like sober, reflective way. And at that point, me and BJ looked at each other and we're like, oh, he's winning. He is winning for sure.
His promo, when he cried, I was like, this is way too raw. It kind of gave it away in that moment, but I also loved it because you could just tell how much it meant to him. So
I think that this episode of Dynamite was a masterclass in telling a story throughout the episode. They showed that they understood people's reservations about Darby.
Yes.
Being the champion, and they tried to address all of them as thoroughly as possible before that match. So show starts. I thought it was hilarious that MJF didn't know that, one, Andrade had lost, and 2, didn't know that Darby had already challenged him, and that the match was going to happen right then. Now, I know some people have some feelings about the actual match they had, but I would not have liked if they made MJF wrestle in his street clothes to defend the title.
Neither would I.
Okay. I wouldn't have liked that. But what happens instead is MJF comes out. He knows that he's fucked, right? He knows he's, so he's trying to talk tough. He's pulling a Trump, basically, which is like, make a lot of threats out of your ass so that maybe they'll believe you and back off, right? He's like, I'll sue this promotion. I'll sue Aubrey Edwards. I'll sue Darby Allin. I'll sue every goddamn fan in this arena. I'll sue, Tony.
He threatened Tony Khan a few times.
What I was so struck by, though, was when he says, he kind of calms down a little bit, and MJF and Darby know each other. They know each other in real life well. They wrestled each other on the indies a bunch. That headlock takeover thing dates back to before AEW.
Oh yeah, this is like an ongoing thing between them, which is just love the actual long-term storytelling these two on.
Shitloads of lore. I've known for 2-3 years that someday Darby Allin will beat MJF with a headlock takeover. But and Blurry Line predicted it. I mean, I will give him that. He straight up said this is going to end in a headlock takeover like 2 on Monday. Like, he called it. And he was 100% right. But what I loved was when Max goes, but Darby, and he starts talking to him more like two people who know each other. He says, Bud, you're just not ready. And as soon as he says that, I think that actually triggered something in Darby that really hurts him, you know? And I think what we saw was more emotion than Darby actually planned to release.
Oh,
you know, like
it was authentic.
It hurt him when MJF said that. It hurt him because he's heard that from, I've said that. I mean, a lot of people have said it.
I said it last year after All In. I don't think he's ready.
Yeah. And I might have thought that on Monday when I heard about there Monday at 1 a.m. when I heard about this. You know, I'm not sure if Darby's ready.
Changed him. This segment changed my mind.
Yep. And so Darby gets so emotional and says, you know, I will, you know, kill myself for this company. And I'm like, Darby, we know that part.
We know.
You know, but you know, this guy has been homeless at times, you know, so he could train. AR Fox let him live in his fucking school so that he wouldn't have to sleep in his car. You know, like this is a guy who put it all on the line. And when he said essentially, I said I wouldn't change one thing. I will either succeed or fail as Darby Allin. And here I am, and I haven't changed one thing. If I'm not ready now, I'll never be ready. AEW wanted you to put it together. They wanted you to know it. If you watch this entire show, you're going to see something incredibly special. Yeah. Right. So by this point, it's not a mystery, right?
No.
They're just trying to make it compelling enough for you to want to see it. Right.
It made you really want the underdog. And even though you knew at this point the underdog was going to win, it gave you this like I had hope. I was like, but I kept trying to talk myself out of it. Like, no, it's not going to happen. It's way too obvious. Like, there's no way they're going to make it this obvious.
Right. Let's see what people are saying here. Orable says, also, the squash was poetic. MJF's attitude upon arriving at Dynamite was telling he rested on his laurels. Absolutely.
I always said MJF's ego is what's going to keep costing him the title.
Yes. Oh, I mean, that's just character building. That's universe building.
But
Degree and I were talking about this.
Doesn't do that stuff. So
right. They don't tell stories or have characters. Right. Totally. Devil Dinosaur, Darby crying and giving it away actually managed to amp up the excitement. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you were supposed to figure it out at that point. Larry Lyon, MJF only loses squashes. I think it's kind of a defined point of his character. Wardlow, Brody, Darby. Exactly. Exactly. And Slim Pickett agreed with that one. Darby was so emotional that he kind of spoiled the result. I mean, yes, but again, I think that was the point. The Scareglow, nobody believes in AEW more than Darby. Therefore, we believe in him.
I think that's the best way to put it.
Since this guy got put with Sting, he has been built for us to believe that one day he will be a main eventer. Okay. I'm not sure if it was supposed to happen while Sting was an active competitor, but it's happening now.
Yeah. Darby is AEW. That's what AEW stands for and how AEW presents itself. So I don't think there's anyone more fitting right now. I mean, the man climbed Everest and put an AEW flag on there. I think he might love the company more than the people who started the company.
Yeah, it's very possible. It's very possible. Slim Pickett, great question. Would you guys say you had more hope in Darby winning compared to the cleaner at Dynasty?
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, because I thought realistically, I didn't think Kenny, like on paper, it didn't make sense for Kenny to win. On such a short build. Most of the pay-per-view really hadn't been built, you know? So they weren't like going to have a record number of buys or anything, you know? Yeah.
Kenny's going to win with a lot of build.
Right. And
I have my own theory now, so.
I do as well. Horrible. The devil beat the main character in the God of Pro Wrestling, but he couldn't beat death. At the peak of his arrogance, MJF's loss is the consequence of his hubris. I laughed and clapped so hard. So well said.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That is so well said. My God. RK Rivera, theory time. Dump it on us, buddy. Dump it on us. I want to hear everybody's theories. We'll read all of them. But I'll talk while we wait for more to come in. So yeah, what happened during this show was nothing short of a masterclass in storytelling and build. Yeah. So after the in-ring promo, I pretty much knew, I mean, there could have been a shadow of a doubt, but I'm like, look, Tony's been booking for heat so hard that like you've got to you can't keep doing this. You can't have Darby lose in Everett,
Tony has also taken some marketing classes. He has now had media training and marketing classes because this was a marketing goal. This was, from a marketing professional, this was such a great way to do it.
Yes. Yes. And so I think, this was absolutely a way to do a make good, huge feel good moment. Right. Mm-hmm. And this is where booking for heat is good. Right. Yeah. Because everybody wants what they want right in the moment. I do. We all do. Right. We don't want to wait till next week. We don't want to wait till next month. We want our guy or our girl or whatever to win. Right. When we want them to win. And this just shows that when you booked for the heat, when you had all the Canadians lose, basically, except Kyle O'Reilly at Dynasty, that there was something in the offing, and it was because there was going to be a huge release very soon.
Yeah.
So I did see someone say that when Darby was crying, he reminded them of Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad, which, if I'm being honest, I have always thought about Darby. Just it's the way he talks and his size. That's it. He's skinny and he talks kind of like Jesse Pinkman, but I just thought that was funny. Okay. So Darby said at the end of that promo, he's like, so MJF says he's not going to do it. Then Danielson said, I was just told by Tony Khan. He agrees with MJF. He shouldn't have to defend the belt in such a rush, but he's going to give you all the time you need, which is till the end of the show. This will be the main event instead. And we all go ape shit, right? And I know while he's talking, there's no fucking way they're calling this match off. There's no fucking way.
Well, so the moment MJF threatened to sue Tony Khan, Tony Khan was like, little shit's right, but it's happening tonight. You don't threaten to sue me.
Right. So then Darby says, I'm gonna beat you with a headlock takeover, right? And
that was the first time I had doubts, though. I was like, oh, you maybe should not have said that.
Let me just say, as a Northwest wrestling fan, okay, when I was a kid, there was no indie wrestling out here at all, okay, because our laws were super regressive towards taxing wrestling events. And so WWE would come out once or twice a year, and that's it. There was nothing. Then it wasn't till 2015, maybe, that a company called 321 Battle started going. There was a lucha organization for a little while. They were doing it before the law changed even, and they couldn't charge an admission, so you could only tip them to go watch these people do lucha libre. And then Defy came around in 2017. And that's where I saw Darby the first time. But as somebody who grew up with no wrestling, being a massive wrestling fan, this was special because it's Bryan Danielson doing the announcement, right? Aubrey Edwards is in the ring, and she's somebody that I saw when her name was Girl Hebner, and Darby Allin. We're all involved in one of the biggest segments in AEW history. I thought that was so insane and special. And then throughout the rest of the show, they do a ton of segments explaining the rise of Darby, his history with MJF. Then leading up to the main event, my God, what the fucking fuck? Okay. That's all I got for you. What the fucking fuck? Darby's talking to Renee. He looks kind of like intense, but almost maybe a little nervous and scared, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he walks up and he bumps into fucking Sting.
It's Sting.
White hair.
I knew. I was like, yep, nope, this is it. Darby's winning. They have
white-haired, white beard Sting, right? And Sting's like, you got this, man. Go get him. Go do what you do. And Darby looks at him and very nervously, kind of like looking to him for approval, almost says, it's showtime. And Sting goes, no, it's not showtime. It's your time.
I cried.
What?
I cried. I was like, why are you doing this to me, AEW? I already had a mental break. I had a mental breakdown earlier in the night. Now you're giving me another one? Thanks.
It was so crazy when he said that. Sting said so little and yet said the most vital thing you could possibly say in that moment with not one extra word. Not one unnecessary vowel was spoken in that entire thing. And when he said, it's not showtime, it's your time. This isn't about me. You're not the next me. You're the first you.
Yeah.
Sting is the wrestling dad of everyone. Sting is all of our dad. Okay. That we needed, that we wanted, right, to say the thing that we needed to hear. I had tears in my eyes, like seriously. And my dad and I get along great, but like, what an amazing moment. That was so powerful. I got chills explaining that moment, you know, like, God damn, man, that's just real shit that just, you could take something so real from that, you know? And the building was going nuts when he said that, you know? So there's nothing left to do. Darby's music hits. We're clapping in time. Darby, Darby, Darby. MJF comes out looking so smug, but he's shitting himself and you know it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bell rings. Darby turns her back to hand the belt off. MJF kicks Darby in the nuts. And he walks around kind of gloating for a second. He turns around. Darby pushes him. He almost runs into Aubrey. Then he turns around and Darby kicks him in the nuts. Then he hits a scorpion death drop. I'm like, whoa, we're starting kind of fast. Then he hits a fucking coffin drop. I'm like, wait a minute. Then he hits another coffin drop. I'm like, whoa, another coffin drop. What? You missed a post, Darby. Then he hits another coffin drop from the post he missed. And then he just headlock takeovers him and pins him.
Yep. MJF should not have said he wasn't ready.
Holy
fire.
Fucking shit. There are times in wrestling where you want to see that classic, you know, you want to see that Kenny Omega match. You want to see that 45-minute masterpiece. This did not need to be a 45-minute masterpiece. Yeah. Okay. MJF got himself in too fucking deep. Mm-hmm. Darby outsmarted him finally. Because MJF's outsmarted Darby a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Okay. And Darby, when he kicked him in the nuts and he created his own distraction and kicked him in the nuts, he showed like, I got you tonight. You're done. This is over for you. What'd you think in that moment, Books?
I believe I said holy shit twice in two different thread posts because I knew he was winning. Sting, the authentic emotion, I knew he was winning. I didn't see a squash, but I loved that it was a squash because MJF's biggest fault is always going to be his ego.
Right.
And in telling Darby that he's not ready, all this other stuff, he created his worst enemy. And he had it was perfect. And then I can't even talk about what happened next because I was just crying at that point.
So for me, I remember this whole episode felt like an Attitude Era episode. And in the good way, where it's just like you are on the edge of your seat. Anything can happen. You got to be paying attention. Not in a creepy way. And you got to be paying attention. Mm-hmm. And you want to be paying attention because they started the episode off so crazy that you know something huge, at least one huge thing is going to happen for sure. And maybe a lot more, right? Mm-hmm. And so when this match kicked off, you know, I had no idea what would happen. They kicked it off with like 5 minutes left in the hour, but AEW does long overruns all the time. And when Darby won, we were all like, I looked at the BJ sitting next to me and I knew my eyes were just gigantic, and we stood and I'm screaming so loud I can't even hear noise. Like I don't even know if I was making sound. Like it was so crazy to be in that building. The roof could have literally come off that place. Seriously. And Darby, you know, the entire babyface locker room empties. That was so cool seeing the Outrunners come out. The Bucks came out.
When the Bucks hugged him, I died. I was like, because you know this was a conversation I had with Bucks, Kenny, Tony about that it's Darby's time. And like, it just, them coming out and hugging him was just like, they know how much this man loves this company.
Yes. And then Brody was the first person out. And as somebody who has seen Brody and Darby wrestle a bunch of times in Defy, because Brody wrestled a shitload in Seattle. He's another guy. I almost consider him like an honorary Seattle guy because he was there so much.
I'm just saying, Brody looks like he's going after Darby.
It wouldn't surprise me. Also, you remember at the beginning of the show, Ciampa said, like, I don't care who wins. I'm coming after whoever it is. I think Darby will definitely be defending against Ciampa on Dynamite at some point in the near future. It's just crazy. So let's see what the folks are saying here in the chat. Devil Dinosaur, everybody is entitled to an opinion, but you can't really talk too much shit about a guy who climbed Mount Everest and wrestles like Gumby's skeleton. Very true. Larry Line, I have a distinct memory of Will Ospreay wrestling Kenny Omega and flossing with the Canadian flag. Currently, Will and Kenny are allied in their pursuit of the AEW men's title, and we're 4 months away. Yep. We'll talk more about that later because I thought that promo might end up playing a real big part in where we go from here.
My theory has completely changed because of that promo.
Yeah. Scareglow, I was screaming out the count in the building. Kenny got a 15 count. He beat MJF 5 times over in my mind. Of course. Yeah. He hit the one-winged angel, and he got like a 15 count before the ref ran in. It was so funny. MJF said, he kicked out of the one-winged angel. It's not even a very effective move, if you ask me. He's just full of shit.
Didn't he roll out before he could even get pinned?
That was on the Avalanche one that he did from the second turnbuckle.
I was in and out of sleep on that match, by the way. Yeah, because I was fighting migraine medicine, so I still have to rewatch it.
Yes,
so I don't want to rewatch it now. So.
Yes. It's such a good match. Kenny versus MJF was a fantastic match. I rewatched it before we did the review of the show, and holy crap, it's a really, really good match. Slim Pickett says, my reaction, sugar honey iced tea, he did it. Blurry Light 7, Sting Dolph the White got a huge pop. So Too Fat to Cook says, old man Sting is the fucking coolest. Completely agree, folks. He's barely even there anymore, and yet when he appears, Sting is literally the coolest fucking thing in wrestling. Like, at all. He's just the coolest fucking shit. You know what I mean? So the baby faces come down. They're celebrating with Darby, and then I knew Sting's music was going to hit, and it does. He comes down. My God. Unbelievable. They got Darby up on the big screen, as with the title, and it really, I saw a lot of people say it felt like Mick Foley winning the world title in the Attitude Era, and I think that's the closest thing you can compare it to. By the way, that match was a shit show schmoz as well, and wasn't like a great wrestling match. It just was awesome to see Mick win the title, and that's what this was as well. So, the babyface locker room empties and surrounds Darby. Then Sting comes out. I have more tears coming down my face at this point. Darby's about to cut a promo, and then the feed ends on the show. Everybody immediately starts texting me and hitting me up in the Discord going, what did he say? And I just happened to film it. It's 30 seconds long, and it's literally him going, thank you all. But hey, we got a show to do, so please stick around for the people that are going to wrestle. They need you. And then he left. Real locker room leader shit. Really cool. And the Bucks just stay in the ring, and they have the next match, right? So, yeah, Slim Pick'n, I was there live. Holy shit. And there's all kinds of more shit that can happen because Blair Line reminds us they have a named collision coming up soon. Yes. Unbelievable stuff. K Rivera, Sting is a benchmark for what every legend should aspire to be. No whiny podcasting garbage, just old man cool. Exactly. Leave the whiny podcast garbage to me. That's what I'm here to do. Like that's what I'm here for. Sting, you got bigger shit to do. So then there was the reaction that I saw that night. And then there was the reaction that followed the next day. And of course you have your people coming out of the woodwork to weigh in with their 2 cents. So let's talk about, in addition to all the people that thought it was awesome, which I would say was the vast majority. I think the vast majority were way into it.
And I will say, I think a lot of the bad reactions are bad faith, don't watch AEW. Just want to complain.
So, yes. So I'm going to be speaking of the people whose opinions I at least thought came from an honest place. Okay.
Okay.
So some people felt Kenny losing to MJF and then Darby immediately winning was a terrible use of Kenny. Like, you just had Kenny lose and then Darby beats him in a squash. You just made Kenny look like a total loser. No.
But it's also part of Kenny's story happening. Now.
Right. But they also didn't make Kenny look like a total loser because MJF was worn down from wrestling Kenny.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why he was able to also squash him, because Kenny beat the shit out of him too.
I said very clearly on the review of Dynasty that I was sad when Kenny lost because I wanted Kenny to win. I didn't make up some bullshit excuse for why Kenny should have won. I just wanted him to, right? I wanted him to win and he lost. And it was sad for me, right? Guys, just be honest.
For all of us.
I love Kenny Omega and I always will. He is literally my GOAT, but he's not above supporting a main event story.
No,
he's just not.
People forget that Kenny and the Young Bucks, they all have bigger stakes in AEW and what is best for the company outside of what's best for them as wrestlers.
Totally. And I don't think we've seen the end of Kenny in the main event or as a possible champion either.
No, I think this is a bump in his story.
He may be the god of pro wrestling, but he's not Jesus Christ on the cross. Relax. Okay.
Excuse me.
Then there. All
right,
let's move on.
I'm better than Jesus. I'm Kenny.
Oh, jeez. Wow, Books. Wow. Then I've seen some others.
He's going to mop you up.
That's true. He's welcome to try. I've seen some others say Darby isn't a quote unquote believable world champion because he's so small. To those people, even if they're coming from a good place with it, I'm sorry, but fuck yourselves. Okay. Like if Rey Mysterio was a believable world champion, Darby is easily a believable world champion.
He's kind of there's a lot of while CM Punk may have height, they're built kind of similarly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But CM Punk is believable.
Right. It's they said the same thing about Bret Hart. They said the same thing about Shawn Michaels. They said, and those guys are huge compared to CM Punk. Those guys were bigger than him. And CM Punk's much bigger than Darby and whatever. But CM Punk was also one of the, these same people who love CM Punk are saying Darby's not believable. Right. Okay. Blurry Line says the only reservation I have is that whilst I'm very happy with what they did from a character and TV perspective, Darby is a human being outside the ring. has some baggage that is now getting some spotlighting and more attention on it. That was always going to happen. And, you know, something that I am just going to say is I'm not saying anything about what Darby did or didn't do or any of those things because I don't know. And the thing is, no one ever will. It's not possible to know definitively one way or the other. But I can only say that during the time that, you know, people have made some pretty serious allegations against Darby, they were made against others in AEW, and those people were fired. Darby wasn't shit at the time. Like, he wasn't a main event guy. He wasn't with Sting. There hadn't been a ton of mileage put into him as a character. I'm not saying that exonerates him, but they did say they looked into it. That's all I know for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. If more comes out later, go ahead.
And I look at too, like what his ex-wife has said, and that they're still very close. And just sometimes people clash, and it's unhealthy and toxic together. And that's not excusing anything that he did, but he was also very young, and I think he grew up. I think he's been honest about going to therapy and getting help, and I think that kind of makes a difference, is that he's willing to acknowledge what he did and sought help. And not everyone does that.
Yeah, and
I'm a little bit more willing to forgive him than I am some other people, because seeking help and acknowledging is a huge...
If there were a laundry list of people coming out of the woodwork to say shit about him, that'd be a different thing, right? Like, there isn't that I'm aware of. So, you know, it does put a spotlight on that, but it always was going to.
It was going to. So, it doesn't matter when it happened.
You might as well just do it and have it be done, you know. And Darby, to my knowledge, has never spoken about it. So
has never spoken about it, other than it's been alluded to that he has sought help. So right. So I don't know what type of guy he is. I'm not vouching for anything. I don't, I've learned my lesson with all of that. You don't vouch for people you don't know, but as it stands with what I know, I'm excited. I think some fresh blood in the main event scene is really, really good. Darby, who's he going to first someone who, this is our first true new AEW Men's World Champion since Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. When he lost it to Swerve, or when he won it from Swerve. Yeah. And Swerve, was also a new champion. But I mean, it's pretty much revolved around Mox and Hangman and Joe and, kind of the same cast of characters for a while.
Yeah, it was time to put it on New Blood.
Yep. And there's a whole bunch of opponents for Darby now. Blurry Line is
about honoring and promoting loyalty, which is Darby. MJF is who he is, but MJF has also been a very loyal person, right? So it was like for putting the championship from one extremely loyal company man to another. And
make no mistake, Darby is over as fuck. Like, it's not just in my hometown. There is a reason there is so much Darby merch. There is a reason that they made like 7 Darby action figures. Even though he
like him, like
kids love him, like a lot of people love Darby. He's very much over.
Every single kid I saw, Blood and Guts, had Darby face mask paint on or were in Darby merch.
Yeah. So it's like this guy he makes a lot of money for the company, period.
Yeah.
And he gets a lot of notoriety too, outside of wrestling for the crazy shit he does. So he's brought a lot of attention to AEW through various different ways. Let's see. Let's see what others are saying. RK Rivera says, I got like 4 Darby action figures. I'm not proud of it, but I kind of am. I do too. I collect the toys, man. I have so many fucking toys. It's wild.
I need to branch out of my elite collecting.
Right. The Scareglow says, look at MMA, steroided out guys get worked by smaller guys. Absolutely. Happens all the time. Wrestling. A real fight.
It's not about how big you are. It's about how you move, how you navigate a ring.
Big Ad says, hi guys.
Hi guys.
Yeah. So I think that there's these people who think that they can kick Darby's ass, and it's like, no, you couldn't.
No,
he's not afraid of being hurt by you. People who aren't afraid to be hurt are very dangerous.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not afraid to be hurt. So they'll just come right at you, you know? Yeah, guys, we're having some action figure talk in the chat here. And guys, I have 400 wrestling figures right now. It's wild. I actually don't know how many I have. I have many.
I have 11.
And maybe I should be embarrassed, but I'm not. So the last thing was that I saw people kind of like with the Kenny thing saying, I've also, that this was a massive misuse of MJF. I also think that's bullshit. This rivalry goes back years in AEW alone, far longer on the indies. Darby's been a huge supporting piece in building MJF. You know what I mean? He played a huge role in the build of MJF. And so it's right for Max to return the favor.
Yeah.
And MJF's the kind of person who can lose any kind of way, and he's never done. You know what I mean?
No.
There's no way to kill MJF unless he does it himself,
MJF somehow came back from that weird promo with Jeff Jarrett, so I'm not concerned about MJF.
Always never in the chat. What's up, buddy? The way Darby won was beautiful. That shit was art. I almost cried. Last time was Hangman unlocking the briefcase. I did cry. And when Swerve beat Samoa Joe. And then RK Rivera, I agree. MJF is our Ric Flair. He is, he's like the nature boy. Tony Mighty Mouse fought at 125 pounds and in an open weight competition. He tapped out the 280 pound heavy. All right. And then Too Fat to Cook. MJF has been crashing out on how it is a misuse. Crashing out. MJF is the best MJF. Yes, it is.
Just like anyone is better chasing the championship. There are just sometimes the fallout or the build is better than the where they shine.
He called it the Seattle screw job, which I hope catches on. Honestly,
I'm gonna start calling it that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. MJF's done such a great job. I think this was a much better title run, honestly. But some people think so much of him that they kind of throw a fit anytime he's not the champ or if he has to lose. He's had a great reign. He did a great job. Yeah. And if anything, he was heavily protected with the circumstances of the angle. He just wrestled a 45-minute match with Kenny Omega 3 days before. He didn't know that he had to wrestle, So if anything, I think it helped MJF a lot to lose in a squash, sure, but in a squash that was very the circumstances were not in his favor. You know what I mean? So outside of the arena being there myself, this very much felt like Mick Foley winning the world championship on Raw. There were plenty of people at the time. They would all pretend they weren't now, but there were plenty of people then who said it was a terrible business decision for WWF to make. And we've seen how that played out. They were wrong. The world championships are important and should be protected, but I think it's okay for them to move around. AEW needs new blood in the world title picture,
Look at how boring it gets when the same 4 people are doing the same 4 matches over and over and over again. We don't want random celebrities showing up to make things interesting.
Oh my God. Great point. And if Darby isn't one of your faves, that's okay, but he is massively over from the beginning. Like I said, having Sting as his mentor was designed to build him up to be a top guy.
Yeah.
And again, doing this on Dynamite immediately makes it feel like anything can happen on Dynamite, and it makes next week feel like a must-watch experience.
Yeah.
And so if title changes are always held off to a pay-per-view, what's the point of watching the weekly shows?
Yeah,
right?
It becomes like repetitive, and you kind of are just like, well, if I miss it, I miss it. Now it's going to be, well, I don't want to miss it.
Mm-hmm. Also, I do need to point out, between Swerve, Bryan Danielson, and Darby, Seattle area might have the most AEW men's world champions so far. I could be wrong, but to me, again, as someone who grew up with zero local wrestling, that's great. Pretty fucking cool to have three like Washingtonians as men's world champion.
What a lineage. That's
pretty dope, right? Swerve, Danielson, and Darby, like wild. And we still got Nick Wayne someday. Yeah. I think in that match he had with Mox, he showed it. It might be sooner than later. Let's see what we got in the chat. 2025 MJF versus 2026 MJF is literally a different person. 100%. He was so fucking bad and lazy for most of 2025 and became the best version of himself for 2026. Completely agree. Mm-hmm. I think that Max, it just didn't seem like he was all the way there in 2025, because he wasn't. He had movies to promote. He had other shit going on. Yeah. You know,
his mind was elsewhere, and that's okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it did come across lazy at times. You know, I get that.
Yeah.
Always never crash out MJF is only typed by determined and angry MJF. Agreed. Yes. The scare glow, bad faith arguments from Fed heads. It's not Darby's fault. WrestleMania is hot garbage. Buddy, we got something coming just up that alley here in a few minutes. Slim Pickin says the obvious thing. He'll get it back at some point. No question. Yeah. MJF will probably have more title reigns than anybody else.
Yeah, he's also only 30, which I think people forget. Like, this kid, he's young in like wrestling. And to already pulled it twice.
Yeah. And he's younger than Darby. Darby's 33. Like, Darby will probably be champ this time and maybe
one other
or twice else.
Yeah.
If he's ever champion again.
Yeah.
This could just be the thing to cement his legacy, you know?
If MJF has his entire career in AEW, he will probably hold the title the most.
Yeah. Him or Hangman.
Yeah.
Yep. Tony, MJH has more natural talent than Ric Flair. There, I said it. Okay. I think you just typed H by accident. Tony, I agree with you, cousin. That's a good take. For once.
I was waiting for something crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Big ads. MJF is still the longest reigning AEW men's world champ ever. Calm down, people. Exactly.
Yeah.
They weren't going to give him another 14-month reign. Okay. There's too many people in the main event now.
People. And I said this, I think the men's right now needs to like go every 3 or 4 months. It needs to just cycle now because there's there's too much talent.
For a very long time, until about 1989, 1990, the NWA World Championship was the most prestigious championship in wrestling. And Tommy Rich held it for 1 week, or less than 1 week. He held it for 4 days one time. Jack Briscoe dropped it for a week to Giant Baba once, and then Harley Race did the same thing. Okay, Giant Baba is a 2-time NWA World Champion, and both of his title reigns were 1 week long. Okay, like, chillax. You know, Kerry Von Erich took it from Ric Flair for 3 weeks. You know, So that's just how it happens. Ricky Steamboat held it for like 2 months one time. You know, it's not that big a deal. It really isn't. Slim Pickin, repetitiveness shows quick in wrestling, even with celebrities. Totally. Yep. I mean, look at fucking New York right now. It's a fucking mess because of that shit. You know. People don't want to pay those prices.
It's Connecticut.
Too bad to cook. Darb's winning shows that literally anyone can win. Ciampa winning shows that anyone debuting can win. AEW is unpredictable and it's awesome. Well said.
Yeah.
Blurry Line with the best chat of the night, and Mother Wayne won the championship of our hearts. Jesus Christ. It's so true. When Moxley was like, hey, Mother Wayne won't be down there, I was like, fuck you, man. Why would you do this? God damn it. We need Mother Wayne. I know she's beautiful. Okay. Like, everybody knows she's beautiful, but when you see her in person, that's a beautiful woman. My Lord, Mother Wayne is beautiful. Holy God. Slim Pickin, do you guys think Wayne did great against Mox? I was shocked, in my opinion, how well he ended up doing. He did a great job. he grew up in this area. You know, I saw him wrestle when he's like 16 years old. So like, yeah, he's way better than he's had a chance to show. And he's only gotten better in that time. He's going to be in the New Japan Juniors tournament this year. Watch out. He's going to be great.
Putting him with Christian Cage was like the best thing they did for his career. Yeah.
The Scare Glow. I can't wait to see shows in Washington once the Orange Man gets the boot. Goddamn right. RK Rivera, Nick Wayne really showed something in that Mox match. That's the future champ. Yes. Agreed. I mean, Nick Wayne could train a lot of the people who are in NXT. His dad is Buddy Wayne. So like the kid he's known how to wrestle since he's like 8 years old. Like unbelievable.
He's kind of like a Brody Lee Jr.
Yes. Always never. I saw Mother Wayne at the ROH taping. I only regret she stopped wearing the glasses. Sigh. Ooh. Always never is a nerdy librarian guy. I get it. Okay. Big ads. Mox is for the mothers. He didn't want her catching all that Seattle drool. That's okay. Fair enough. But she lives out here, so I think she catches a lot of it anyway. All right. So books. Last big topic.
Yeah.
Before we say anything more, I want to be clear about something, even though the chat is friendly. If you're listening to the show the first time, I want you to hear me out on this, okay? I don't watch WWE at all. I might see a clip occasionally on socials or something. It's not for me, and it hasn't been for like a decade. I don't like TKO. I don't like the McMahons. I don't like the way that company is run. I don't appreciate the way they've done everything possible to destroy anyone that could remotely be perceived as a competitor. The multitude of crimes they've been alleged to have committed, right? But I have zero against the wrestlers themselves because I don't even see them, okay? Of course, they have a ton of great wrestlers there and talents in the company, obviously. So what I'm about to say is not directed at the wrestlers, all right? It's the company itself, because I have been laughing my fucking ass off this entire week listening to Paul McMahon dig a hole for himself so deep. There is no backup Cody Rhodes. There's no backup Randy Orton. It's like, dude, you have Gunther, you have Seth Rollins.
It's your job as the creative head to build talent, to build the backup roster. What the?
This isn't a real sport, Paul. You have a massive advantage over real sports because you can get people over because you're the one who decides who wins and loses and what stories get told.
Like, what? All you do is use the same four talent over and over again. And I won't even go in that he doesn't even say that he has women stars. Like, fuck you. When the women of WWE have been the best thing about that promotion for the last couple of years. So go fuck yourself, Paul McMahon. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's right, Paul McMahon. You've got Stephanie McMahon as your headliner for the Hall of Fame when AJ Styles is going in at the same time.
Yep. Yeah.
There's two. Stephanie McMahon.
Nepo daughter? Like.
Yeah. There's two Stephanie McMahon collectible belts you can buy right now.
And she barely wrestled. Oh, I'm sorry. She did wrestle her dad.
Less than 30 matches in her entire career.
One of them was her father. That's fucking disgusting and creepy.
And watching these guys act like total arrogant assholes. And, Linda McMahon destroying the Department of Education. Triple H palling around with RFK Jr. Watching these people associate themselves. I already pretty much hated them. Okay. But watching them associate themselves with the lowest forms of life on this earth really confirmed everything that might have sounded a little crazy for me to say a few years before that, right?
I distinctly remember getting shit for some of the things I said. And yeah. I've just been sitting here sipping my water and my coffee going, I told you guys back in January of 2024.
Do I want WWE to close? No, I do not. No. Okay. It's too big. It would really have a catastrophic effect on the wrestling business. I do not want that for the people in the business. No, and that's not just the wrestlers. It's the production people. It's all the people who make it up.
It's just like, I don't want them to be sold to Saudi Arabia either.
I don't either.
Do that.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be awful for the business. I do not like, I want them to be successful. I want them to make a good product, because the better their product is, the more eyes these companies get, the better it is for the industry. I may hate them, but I don't want to see them dead.
Does it make me happy, the idea of Paul McMahon getting fired?
Yes, but that's because I hate
him. It does. It does. It does make me happy. I think that would be hilarious. Yes, I do. Because I think, one, there's people who could do it a lot better, and two,
100%.
Two, I don't like that guy. He's not a good person. Fuck him.
You know what Paul McMahon did? He slept his way to his role.
I mean, yeah. The McMahons are shit, okay? Just get all of them. Just get them the fuck out of the wrestling business. Family. That would be so good for WWE to have a genuine fresh start. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's literally people who are saying Vince should come back because they think Paul's so bad. That's fucked up on so many levels.
Two, don't get me started on that.
If you're actually nostalgic for Vince booking, like, you've lost the plot entirely, and I don't know why you're watching the product. You know what I mean? So besides the schadenfreude of watching these guys get what they deserve, these executives looking like morons, the only thing I've heard about WrestleMania this year is the absolute clusterfuck that is the Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Pat McAfee jelly roll thing, right? The insane ticket prices and the lack of perceived value for that price, and the consistently bad creative.
I think that's the only match I know.
Yeah, I mean, I know Punk and Reigns. That's the other match I know.
Oh, okay.
It is extremely smart for Tony Khan, for AEW to pull this shocking title change on their show where they can dominate the conversation and make WWE prove they deserve to you shouldn't just get to dominate the conversation because it's WrestleMania. Put on a good WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
And it shouldn't be that hard. If you don't want it to be criticized, you should just put on a good show, and then you won't need to go into the news cycle and have your Nick Khan and Paul McMahon make stupid comments left and right. So they're I have seen more about Darby from WWE fans.
Yep.
WWE only fans.
Yep.
Than they have been talking about WrestleMania. This was the smartest marketing move Tony Khan has ever fucking made.
It's Tony growing a lot as a leader of AEW. It's
as a businessman,
up to them signing the new deal with WBD. I would say Tony's biggest distinction from AEW to WWE is the in-ring product, right? Mm-hmm. We wrestle here. We're, people can blow that off so easily. Well, you got to have characters. That's why they don't tell any stories. That's why that stuff became what it did, right? Yeah. It's not like it was Tony's fault. It's just that's what he knew to say. But he has now drawn so many distinctions, and I got to hand it to McMahon's and Nick Khan and fucking Ari Emanuel. They have helped so much. Okay. Because now AEW has drawn so many distinctions that separate them from WWE. Like the ticket prices, the absence of mega influencers. There's no one from AEW in the Trump administration. The creative is at a high in AEW instead of at a low. And AEW has been clearly expanding their tent. I see people on threads all the time saying, I'm watching AEW for the first time. It's so fucking good. It's been pretty consistent now for almost a year that I've seen that.
And then asking to be caught up on stories because they watch for the first time and are going, what the F is happening with these stories? Because they have now learned that there is legitimate stories happening.
And AEW is clearly putting on the shows now for these people who are coming over, but without betraying the weekly viewers who have been loyal.
They've done a really good job at explaining stories while not making it the whole show.
Right.
And putting on the matches we still want to see.
So, so it's like AEW is not going to catch WWE like revenue wise or anything anytime soon. Okay. But that's not even the point. What it is this thing with Darby was like, hey, you're not going to be the toast of this week unless you earn it.
Yeah.
We're not just going to roll over and let you have WrestleMania because it's WrestleMania. Put on a good WrestleMania and earn it. Take it from us.
It's like the AEW is wanting to push WWE to put on a better show.
Yeah.
Because I think even Tony knows the more successful WWE is, the better WWE is doing, the better it is for the whole business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and not just because Tony cares about the business, like he cares about wrestling. He doesn't just care about his business. And that's why he works with so many other promotions. It's why he helps promote so many promotions. He cares about the health of the business. And I think it's showing right now. And
I think what we're seeing is competition.
This is competition.
AEW is well known enough now to compete in the perception wars. Okay. Yeah. And they had to be around. You see what branding means, right? Like 20 years of unfiltered WWE branding with no other national promotion was a very big barrier to overcome.
And they've done this in, 7 years?
Right. It took 7 years, but here we are. And now they're in a real battle here. And this is why competition is good, because you know who determines the winner? Us. We do. Not them. WWE doesn't get to tell you they're the winner. All right. They've been telling you they're the greatest, they're the best, they're the most wonderful thing for decades. And now they have to prove it. Right. And WWE and AEW isn't the new kid on the block anymore that you just get to kick around. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have all these influencers in their pocket anymore. Right. So like now you got to earn it. I don't think Levesque, I don't think Paul McMahon has it in him to earn it. I don't think he does.
No, because he's a Nepo husband who slept his way to the top. He doesn't. I have said this for a while. I think Paul McMahon got very lucky with the first two WrestleManias. He had a built-in story.
Yeah.
We saw, it's why there was such a high for them story-wise, because there were already built-in stories. Now that he's had to create stories, it has been, he has shown that, sure, he did well on NXT. NXT is a different ballgame. He is not able to play with in the big leagues and creating compelling stories.
No. Meanwhile, Tony Khan is like, I mean, I know this is like big talk, right? I know to some people this will sound ridiculous and I don't care. Like Degree and I were talking about this. Like Tony Khan is literally like creating his own wrestling logic. I said basically to Degree, I said, he is the best dungeon master I've ever seen in my life. This guy created an entire universe of his own. Darby winning creates ripples throughout the entire promotion. Everybody's story will be affected by Darby winning, you know, like he is pulling wrestling forward and demanding it be better than it has been.
As Slim Pickens said, AEW reminds me of MCU with its long-term storytelling. And with Darby winning, we have just hit the multiverse.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened.
Let's see what the chat's saying.
Tony Khan does better.
Exactly. What we learned from Marvel is that multiverses aren't understood super well by the average person. Blurry line. Triple H needs to take whatever media class TK took after 2022. I don't think that would work. Honestly, I don't think I think it's an entitlement. Think he's willing to learn. No, I don't think he can. I don't think he's ever really been that deserving of what he has. And so he's, it's not to say that he's like a completely worthless human being. I don't know the guy. I'm just saying like he was never a main event caliber performer, in my opinion. And he's inherited this head of creative thing from Vince, and he was Vince's protege. And you can look at the style of booking Vince did successfully and where that ended, and it's very commensurate with the rise of Triple H as the main guy on Raw. It just is. Big ads. Triple H, the future endeavored assassin. Blurry line. Maybe he stood close to RFK Jr. and the worm crawled out of Rob's ear and into Always never. Ton of talent. I'll never know. I don't watch the Fed. He still books like the old man, apparently. Sure sounds like it. No women and lots of count outs and disqualifications, as I understand it. Too fat to cook. Bailey, come over to AEW. That would be maybe the premier get for them at this point. I
have to believe Mercedes is in her ear.
Oh yeah, duh. Mercedes was doing it publicly, like, of course.
She when they go on lives together, Mercedes bullies her on lives to get her to come. And I think that's why she doesn't get pushed the way she is anymore. So
yeah, Blurry Line says they announced the San Jose pay-per-view Forbidden Door, and Bailey's contract is coming up around the same time.
Can you imagine Bailey premiering on Forbidden Door? Because that would actually literally break the Forbidden Door.
Oh,
having an ex-WWE person make their debut on Forbidden Door. Book it, Tony. Book it. I have to believe they're in conversation now. With 2 months out, they're 100% in conversation.
For sure. They're definitely having below the radar talks for sure.
Yeah.
Too fat to cook. Last I heard, her contract's up in June. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's come very quickly.
I rarely have wanted Fed talent to come over to AEW. I want them to have fun in New Japan Stardom, but Bailey, please, Bailey.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Bailey would 100% do the Stardom New Japan, CMLL stuff too. Yeah. So I couldn't 100% think that CMLL will try and get her on a joint contract right away.
Yeah. The Scare Glow. WWE is the worst thing that happened to pro wrestling. Every time I watch Dark Side of the Ring or read books about wrestling, I hate that company more. Sports entertainment sucks. AEW for life. A lot of people will say stupid shit well, if not for Vince McMahon, we wouldn't have wrestling. Yeah, we would.
It still would have hit. It would have hit differently.
He wasn't the first person to try and go national. He was just the one who was successful.
Because he had a ton of money behind him.
Yeah, but there were other promotions trying to do the same thing. So they wouldn't maybe not have done it the same. Maybe they wouldn't have been as successful, but pro wrestling's been around for 150 years. It's not new. Vince didn't create it. Big ads for the last 15 odd years. All I've wanted WWE to do is be better. And they just haven't, not for a prolonged period, at least the last 7 years. I haven't needed to care if they've been better. I'll be honest, when AEW started, I was going to watch all of it. I was going to watch WWE and AEW. And after 2 weeks, I just was like, you know what? Actually, fuck WWE. I'm bored watching that. And I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast watching AEW. I'll just stick with that.
I remember timing the start of a Raw once. And it took 45 minutes for a match to start. And I was just like, I'm over this.
Yeah.
This is not fun.
And this is going to sound like a diss on her, and it's not. It's a diss on them. I saw Paige, it's rumored she's signed to WWE. She's perfect, right? I don't think she even wants to wrestle. And she's a good comedy character that can choke down 15 minutes of time so they don't have to wrestle on Raw.
They want you to be on the mic for 15 minutes, trying to entertain the crowd, because God forbid you actually watch wrestling at a wrestling show. This Raw that just happened had 35 minutes of wrestling for 3.5 hours. I understand it's the Monday before WrestleMania, but there's enough talent in the locker room that's sitting in catering that could have loved the opportunity to have a match before WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
35 minutes of wrestling for a 3-hour show. Or 2.5, whatever it was. 35 minutes.
Slim Piggin with a fair point. Does it really fall onto Paul, though? Think Dwayne. I can only imagine how much BS he has regarding creative decisions. Fuck Paul, though. No doubt. I mean, it's a fair thing to say, but he is the head of creative in WWE. I have to hold him responsible.
My conspiracy theory is that TKO wants to blame Paul because they're not seeing bottom line, and Paul wants to blame TKO because he doesn't want to be the bad guy.
Well, and I think that I think that Ari Emanuel sees WWE as a breeding ground for like stars and stuff, because at the end of the day, don't forget, he's a talent agent. That's what his real job is. Like Pat McAfee is his client. Yeah. Like, he doesn't care if it makes for a great WrestleMania moment. He's like, Pat McAfee's trying to get into acting, and this will boost his profile. So like, that's what WWE is to him. They had
Cody Rhodes come out as the Street Fighter character the other day. For what reason?
To amuse me.
Meanwhile, Kenny Omega's like actually like doing the voice, like the motion capture for one of them. You don't see him doing that.
Yes. Blurry line. Also, we need to blame WWE more for portraying Trump as a babyface. Agreed. My God. Scareglow. The argument that WWE makes more money is a bad argument. Is our favorite band, movie, or book the one that makes the most money, or is it the art that speaks to you? I've been saying that as a guy who's put out a lot of records and stuff. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
The Velvet Underground sold 0 records in their own time, and they're one of the most legendary bands of all time. The Stooges made $0 in their own time. One of the most influential punk bands of all time. Guys, I hate to do this. I got kind of a heart out today because I have some stuff happening tonight. So we're going to just keep reading, and then we're going to sign out. Is that cool with you, Books?
Yeah, that's fine.
You got anything more you wanted to get in before I start reading?
Like, are you reading comments, or are we going into
oh shit. Yeah, we didn't talk about our connection. Okay. So before I read more comments, let's make our last point here. Yes. Kenny and Will had an incredible promo together. I think this is the best acting I've ever seen from Kenny Omega.
Oh my goodness. I was very mad. I was upset. I'm still not okay. So
Will is talking to Kenny, comes into the trainer's room. Will is in there, and they're both kind of lamenting losing, right? And oh boy, you have Kenny again.
He's just here.
Okay. And so it's an emotional support, Kenny. Nice. Yes. So then Kenny and Will, Will's like, we got to get back on the horse, and Kenny goes, I don't know that I have more time. And Will goes, hey mate, we both have more time. We both have to get back there and do this. And Kenny's like, I don't know. And Will kisses him on the head and says, you're my hero, and walks out of the room. And Kenny just kind of like, he's got tears in his eyes. And he goes, I'm your hero? Well, maybe I can't give up. In the arena, as this is happening, we are booing Kenny when he's like talking about giving up. And then when he's like, maybe I can't give up, we pops huge. Is this the main event of All In?
I think so.
Is this foreshadowing the main event of All In?
Yes. So this is my new theory. 1, Kenny needs the Young Bucks more than he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
The Young Bucks need Kenny more than they think.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to help Kenny refine his Kenniness. But I do think now it's going to be Kenny beating Will at All In.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You think Kenny's going to beat Will?
Yeah. I think Will's going to get I think Will might beat Darby, and Kenny will beat Will.
See, I see it the other way. I see Kenny beating Darby.
I think it's going to, I'm with Larry the Line here. It's going to be, Kenny's going to help Will. It's going to, I think Kenny's going to win as a heel.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I hadn't even thought of that.
Because Kenny's not winning as a face.
Kenny's been a heel many times. I mean,
he's not winning as a face, so.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Will at All In would give him it would give him heat, but in the best way, not in a crowd actually hates him.
So you think, will he turn heel in the match to beat Will?
Yeah, I think so. I also think Kenny is going to win the Owen. And that's going to help him.
I really like
find himself again. Because I think that would, if I was Martha, I would want someone like Kenny to have that lineage of like Kenny's name to be in that lineage.
Guys, I'm not in control of my body at the moment. Like, I'm just dancing in my chair because I really, really like this. Okay.
For a long time. And I'm like, I would put Kenny's name in the Owen Hart, like, lineage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kenny
also,
wins.
He'll wipe his ass with the British flag at Wembley like Will did in Canada, Larry Line says.
Yeah. I think it would just, like, refuel that rivalry, too. A little bit. And I think, Kenny may not keep it that long, but I think it would. Kenny is a better champion as a heel, not as a babyface.
Oh, I agree. Well, and also Kenny turned heel during the match with Mox where he won the title.
Yeah.
So, my God, that is delicious. That is a delicious theory. You guys are way smarter than me. Wow.
Listen, I've not been right. Just like you. But I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at, like, if this is Kenny's last run, if I was Martha, I would want Kenny's name I would want Kenny's name to be attached to the Owen Hart. Foundation, like, like, I would want that name to be attached, like, and I think it would be a really interesting Kenny. Will wins. Kenny is his hero. Like, this is the first time Will has, like, acknowledged Kenny outside of Will was his protege, right? And now Will is saying, like, okay, not only was I your protege, you are my hero. You are someone I look up to. You are, like, it would be like Mariah and Tony, but somehow so different and, like, so good on a different level.
I'm just thinking about that promo now through this perspective, and I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah. You can see how they set it all up.
I immediately caught that. I was like, oh, I see. I can see where this could be going. And
that's crazy.
Because Will's more motivated right now, right? So Will maybe beat Darby at, like, Double or Nothing. Or Forbidden Door or something like that. And then, because usually the Owen Hart is for All In, so.
Right. Well, they do it at Double or Nothing, and then they build it for the whole summer, you know?
Yeah. You're welcome.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit. I hope you're right.
I hope so too. I'm like, this would be
wild. Everybody get your chats in. We're going to be reading through these. Oribile, I want to get this off my chest. Whenever they get the chance, WWE celebrates the military in attendance. Imagine being from the global South and watching this streamed. Yes, exactly. I mean, imagine you're, like, in a place the WWE, like, or that the US is invading or, like, occupying. Yeah, absolutely. Big ads. All he did on NXT was take talents and stories that worked in Japan or ROH and repackage them to Fed heads who hadn't seen any of it. Exploitative is the word. Exactly. You don't think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens had ever feuded anywhere else before?
I'm really sorry. I just got tagged in something. Darby posted this, like, I don't know when, but MJF is texting him, "You cheated, give me my belt back. Block me as many times as you want. I'm going to keep contacting you. I got mad burners. You hit me in the nuts, you little shit. You're a fucking nobody. You don't deserve that belt. Give it back." I saw your mom in the crowd after I take my belt back. I'm going to send you a video of me thanking her. She's ugly as shit.
Jesus Christ.
I'm really sorry. I had to stop because that is hilarious.
The Scare Glow. I'm Canadian and I hate Nickelback. I believe this was in response to a different comment that I skipped over. Sorry. Always Never. I love that Tony doesn't lean on all the usual wrestling tropes. I love how unpredictable the product has been the past 2 years. I feel like he listened
a lot from book stuff, which I love.
I feel like he listened to the early episodes of this show and was like, oh, you fucking smartasses think you know so much? Fuck you. And then he just has humiliated me and dunked on me for 2 years. Slim Pickin', I'm Scottish and black, and I do too. The Scare Glow, hell yeah. Some pick. Okay, we're talking amongst ourselves here. Always Never. I never liked Paul, and I like him less now, and I never liked the McMahons. I feel vindicated. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Scare Glow, my wife and I were in Vancouver. We would have went to Washington, but we are boycotting the States for now, which is sad. My mom was born in Seattle. I don't blame you. Don't blame me at all. All right, let's so yeah, Blurry Line says Kenny's going to help Will win the title, then turn on him because he feels like he needs every advantage to help him get one last reign. Yeah. That's good shit. Scare Glow, I love how AEW can elevate their stars when they lose. Kenny, Will, Mox, Roderick Strong, etc. Totally. Slim Pick and heel Kenny, sign me the fuck up. Yep. Yeah. Agreed.
We definitely need a heel Kenny.
Yeah.
It's been way too long.
The Scare Glow, I'd love to see Kenny as the cleaner again, please. Like one big crazy heel run with the title. Mm-hmm. That'd be fun. That'd be damn fun.
He is Sephiroth. Like, you don't have the One Wing Angel as your thing, and you don't have like a heel theme, and you don't be heel. Yeah. Like,
well, even so, great comment from Blurry Line here. AEW and Will and Kenny in particular do not forget anything. Did you notice in the MJF match, like, they almost did they did a replay basically of what happened with Swerve and Kenny when he pulled Aubrey in front of the V trigger. MJF pulled the ref in front of, and that was where Kenny was doomed. Like, that happened in the Swerve match. He was screwed, and it happened in the MJF match. Mm-hmm. That's where he got screwed. There's this poetry to everything Kenny Omega does. That is, he's so much more than just like a great athlete, you know? He's one of the greatest storytellers ever. Big ads. I think Kenny versus Will is the Owen final. Winner will face MJF at All In after he gets the belt back from Darby. Interesting. Blurry Line, they remember every like that. Yeah, I could see that happening. Blurry Line 7, they remember every detail that could be picked up on. You know, the Bucks are that way too. Every time the Bucks have ever beaten FTR, Matt Jackson loses one of his shoes. Seriously, he loses one of his shoes and super kicks a guy with his bare foot and pins him. It's just wild. Kenny is watching the guy he entrusted New Japan to after he left, the guy who he'll entrust AEW to when he retires. He's not ready. Slim Pickin', I'll shut the fuck up after this. When do you think we will get Jay and Buddy returning?
Let's not give up on Jay White. I'm not talking about it. Bex has put out a missing poster for Jay White because we're just at.
We need Jay White back so bad because Jay needs to be an AEW World Champion. Like, and Buddy, you know, it turned out his foot was in real bad shape. He had nerve damage in his foot, so hopefully he can return. Hopefully he's the same guy when he does. And same for Jay. I know Jay ended up with shoulder surgery, which is very serious surgery.
It sounds like Rhea's going through some stuff too right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if that affects Buddy returning.
And props to Rhea, by the way, for being so open about what she's going through.
You can listen to me rant about it when Folks and Bex comes out. So
fuck all the people on Rhea. She's like, she didn't owe you guys an explanation in the first place, but huge guts to be able to talk about that. Yeah. Blurry Line 7, I got Mad Burners is fucking iconic of an MJF line. Yes.
I actually like MJF have Mad Burners too. So
Blurry Line 7, the Scare Glow claims he woke up one morning and discovered the truth. America stinks. The Bret Hart quote. Yes, I love that.
You know.
Slim Pick and FYI, the Scottish and Black comment was regarding Nickelback and how just because a band has the most money doesn't make it the best. Just Yes. Just want to let you know. Yeah, I agree. Like Nickelback sucks. But also most of the things that are hugely popular are not good. They're just popular, and that's something that I feel like, it's not like people who are younger don't realize this. It's just like, I'm like right on the cusp of Gen X. I'm a Zennial, right? Cusp of Gen X, very beginning of millennials. But like being a rebel or being like non-commercial was like a goal, and like it's been so weird watching the AEW conversation over the last 7 years with people just like bootlicking corporatism, yeah. Anyway, Tino, my man, just coming in. Don't know what we're talking about. Books is right and Blade is wrong. Well, fair enough. Probably correct on that one. Always never. I love how AEW doesn't forget shit. We don't need long promos. We have years of stories to pull from. Very good point. Very good point. And in the odd time you do get a long promo, there's a good reason for it.
Yeah. I think one of the earlier episodes on here, I said, to me, AEW storytelling is reminiscent of like a Tolkien, a Game of Thrones, on how a small detail from a random sentence in one book will be so important like 8 books later.
Yeah.
And as we've gotten, I feel like that's now like a year later that I said that. And I'm like, they've proved it over and over again.
Tino Ibarra, Nickelback is Canadian Creed and vice versa. In our last comment, who is it from? Oh, it's from my cousin. I won't hear the slander about Nickelback. I'm going to mind my business and look at this photograph from that video.
Now I'm singing this song instead of.
Oh God. Oh no.
I don't want that song stuck in my head.
Tony, I knew when we were talking about the Nickelback slander, Tony was going to get upset, and they are his favorite band. And I'm sorry, man.
Yes.
Definitely got more Tolkienian with Leo Gollum Rush.
Yes.
Very true. We didn't get to talk about that. We will talk about that when I come back in 2 weeks, because next week I'm taking it off because I'm getting prepared to launch Pro Wrestling Forever. Make sure you search for Pro Wrestling Forever Pod on YouTube, and please subscribe, because a week from Monday, that's Monday, April 27th, Professor Degree and I will go live with our very first episode. Books, where can the people find you?
I'm at Books and Bodyslams everywhere.
And I Blade Daily everywhere. And if you haven't yet, make sure that you subscribe or follow the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you follow our YouTube channel at Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out. And until next time, I'm Blade Daily.
And I'm Books. Oh, wait. I'm also Kenny.
No one kicks out of the one-winged angel.
Pro Wrestling Forever.